Hi guys, it's Rocky Mac. Just a quick friendly message there about lockdown. You know yourself, stay indoors, don't leave unless you have to, wash your hands, wear a mask if you go outside, have anti-sanitizer. Don't be clumping around in groups, really annoying that. Just cop on lads, you know what you need to do, yeah? Right, enjoy the show.
And this is where Don and Sue go out for a pleasant evening.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to This Is Lucha Pod. I am Kosta.K and I am still in lockdown, but I am joined on this day with the birthday girl. None other than Darcy Stone.
Hello.
Did you like that intro? We wished you a happy birthday.
I did. Let's not ask how old I am, but yeah, thank you for the birthday wishes.
You're older than me.
I'm older than most people, let's be honest. I'm
Oh,
like a wise owl.
I don't know about the wise part.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
owl-like, though.
What's that meant to mean?
I don't know, but if we had to give each other like a type of bird that you had to be, I would probably say, yeah, you're an owl.
Oh, what would I pick for you?
I think I would be like a majestic eagle.
Nah, you're a magpie.
No, fuck off. No. No. Definitely not a magpie. Although I do like shiny things. So
You do, and you're
they are the ones who like
sneaky.
silver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, you know what, actually, I'll take the magpie. Could have been worse.
The
You could have said
magpie.
something really shit like a seagull or a pigeon.
Yeah, but they're quite burly, they're resistant.
I fucking hate seagulls. They are literally the worst living creature next to cats.
Oh, come off it. You don't
We're
like
not going to get
cats?
into it. I can't stand them. I
Yeah,
cannot. We'll save that debate for a
Let's
time
save
when
it.
Malik comes on with us, because I'm sure he has plenty to say about that. Me and him have debated cats and dogs for years, but we all know Malik hates dogs.
Yeah. God, the pair of you together. It's terrible.
But yeah, so basically, we're here on this special episode. Got a couple of little things to announce. We're going to talk about. We can talk a bit about WrestleMania and what we liked, what we did. Well, maybe not so much what we didn't like, because I don't like focusing on negatives too much. But we'll talk about some of our favourite stuff from there. But also, I wanted to say that, given that we're all stuck in lockdown and we ain't got nothing better to do, let's give people a little bit of something somewhat regularly. So from now until the end of lockdown, we are planning on trying to at least make Lucha Pod a weekly episodic thing. Yeah, and then obviously once we're out of lockdown, that might change, because then we're all going to be busy again with actual, jobs and shit.
Yeah.
But for now, yeah, the plan is to make this a weekly thing. So what do you think about that, Darcy?
Well, it's not like I've got any plans. So
No, you're not busy. You're not going out. You're not partying.
Can't say I am.
Oh.
Really.
Wow.
I wish I was, because it is my birthday after all. But yeah, I'm glad. I'm looking forward to more Lucha Pod content. And you're gonna have some like special guests and stuff.
Well, what a segue, because funnily enough, I've actually already recorded this, but we're saving it for the right day to put it up. So this episode is going to go up before that episode. But I have just recently recorded a double header, 2 episodes with the arguably, if not the best wrestler in the world today, one Mr. Will Ospreay.
Wow. 2 episodes.
Yeah, so, it wasn't planned that way. So what happened was, we spoke for about an hour and a half, and then we were starting to wrap things up, and then Will just was like, "Well, to be fair, we've barely actually gotten into anything. We've spent most of this talking about like just a couple of things, but we got really into what we were talking about." So then he decided to stay on for another hour and a half. But by episode 2, we were both probably a good couple of bottles of wine in each, and we're both a bit drunk. So I'm going to go on record now and say episode 2 is probably a lot more they're both fairly light-hearted anyway, but like episode 2 is a lot more sort of funny and silly. But yeah, they're both very good episodes with a lot of interesting topics of conversation. We talk about a lot of stuff from the world of lucha, obviously, to Will's time in Japan, to people in the indies, and just, yeah. And we even talked about a phenomenon known to some as pro wrestling meh.
Pro wrestling, man.
Yeah,
What's that?
well, specifically Monday night meh. Yeah, you'll have to listen into the episodes to find out more about that.
I'm
I'm
looking forward
giving
to
nothing
that.
away. But yeah, so we did that, and then I've actually got some other guests lined up, but I won't give those away yet. We'll save that for the big announcements.
Oh,
But yeah, stuff to look forward to in these trying times.
yeah. We all need something to do, so there's no excuse not to listen, really, is there?
Yeah, so I mean, like, what have you been doing during all this crazy lockdown stuffs?
Well, you'll be pleased to know since I last spoke to you, the last Lucha Pod, I've showered. That was
That's
a
good.
big step. Um, I haven't been. Well, we've got the printing business, haven't we? So we have been doing orders here and there, and then I joined a reset lab
Okay.
run by Tom Dawkins and Claire. And we had the first session yesterday. So that was good because obviously I can't do my physio for my knee. And it's, I'm missing everyone from Lucha. So we had a session online last night and it was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. I think they've got an online session as well tonight. So
Okay. So how do they do it? They do it through like YouTube.
So we do it through Zoom 3 times a week, and we're all there, and they demonstrate, and then yeah, it's good. We got to see Tom do the splits yesterday, which I didn't even know he could do.
Cool.
So
Cool.
mad respect for that.
Fair play. Was the infamous baby Luna around?
She was trying to get involved. It was
Bless her.
Yeah, it was so cute. What have
Yeah,
you been doing?
So I've not in the grand scheme of things, I've been doing a hell of a lot of nothing because basically, since lockdown kicked in, I've been put on the my job as my boss, I should say. They've put me on that. I think it's called the furlough scheme. So I'm basically not allowed to do any. I was working from home, like from my laptop, and it was pretty straightforward and easy. But he said to me, in order to do the furlough scheme, you literally are not allowed to do any work. So I'm not going to complain about that. I'm still going to get paid and not do any work. That's, whatever. But it's, yeah, it at least when I was working, it was filling out the time a lot more. So now it's trying to find other stuff to do, which in a way, it's been kind of nice because before this, I was never really much of a gamer. And not to say I'm a massive gamer now, but where I literally don't have anything else going on, I'm playing a lot more PlayStation than I have in recent years, which has been quite fun.
I did see you online last night at silly o'clock because I was also up at silly o'clock playing.
Yeah, so the first thing I did was I downloaded that Call of Duty, what's it, Warfare? Warzone, yeah. So I downloaded that, and bearing in mind, I used to play COD quite a bit. Like I used to play Modern Warfare and World at War when they first came out. And then I was playing this, and within about a minute, I was like, "Fuck me! Like this has gotten a lot harder." Or it's just been so long that I'm just I am old, and I just can't be dealing with getting shot in the head by like 15-year-old kids who are sat at home yelling for their mum to make them a brisket or something.
It's the reflexes I've noticed a lot because I used to play all the old ones as well, and I've downloaded it, and just my reflexes are not as quick anymore.
Yeah.
And if you're playing on PlayStation, you're pretty much going to be outclassed by PC players because it's easier for them to aim and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it's great. It's great fun. I've been playing it a lot.
I've played a few games of that, and it just stressed me out. And given the amount of stress there is right now in the world, I can't be dealing with that. So I've still got it there.
Things.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got it there, so I'll probably have the odd game here or there whenever like my mates are like, "Oh, come on, we're all gonna play." So I'll be like, "Okay, at least it's a lot of us." But
stick to your Spyro, Kosta.
Well, no, actually, I download. This is what it's come to. I can't stand football, but I bought and downloaded FIFA 20 because it was on special
I
offer.
saw you playing that last night, and it said you were in a party of people, and I was just like, "What is this? Like, you're a changed man." From
I
the
am, and
isolation.
it turns out I'm actually half decent at it, which is quite amusing to me. However, Malik, so I'm going to use this time to call out Malik now, because ever since I downloaded it, he's been telling me, "Oh, mate, I'm going to smash you. I'm going to smash you." Mate, I called him yesterday and was like, "Listen, come on. You've been saying you're going to beat me. I've had it for like not even a week now, but I feel confident enough that I can have a decent game. Come on, let's play." And he refused to play me because apparently he has no balls. So just
Malik,
a little bitch.
come on.
No, it's cool.
Talking all the big talk.
The heavy ballless hitter. Just no balls.
The heavy shitter.
As far all these years I've known him, he's been quite a tough guy. He's bragged about how big his balls are, and all of a sudden last night, no balls.
Shit the bed, didn't he?
Yeah, completely shit the bed. And I was going to save this till later, but while we're on the subject of Malik, how about it?
Shall we?
Shall we do it?
We need a theme for this.
Oh, we've got a theme.
Have we?
Yeah. So I'd like to send a special shout out to Sam Berry, who sent us a theme that he specially made for this segment of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. It's Malik Mysteries.
Malik
Mysteries. Malik Mysteries. Malik Mysteries.
Oh, Malik.
So, do you recall what the last story was that we told?
Oh, wait. Okay. It wasn't the dog one, was it?
No. So last time we revealed that Malik did run away from Kip's dog. However, the story that was told was about Malik being at a professional wrestling show, being kicked in the arse by a famous former WWE champion, and almost getting into a punch-up with them live on Fight TV.
That's right. And I said it. I thought it was true because of Malik's hot-headedness.
So this time around, I did kind of forget to put a thing up asking people what their thoughts are on whether they think it's true or false. So I might actually do that now, because this episode's not going to go up for like another day or two anyway.
Yeah,
so
and if you're listening and you haven't heard that, just shout really loudly.
Yeah, just have a quick guess now of whether you think it's true or not. And in T-5 seconds, I'll reveal whether it's true or not. Okay. Okay, seamless. So that story was completely true. Malik did indeed almost get into a punch-up with a former WWE champion live on Fight TV. But
are you allowed to say who it is?
It's not really so much that I am or am not allowed to, but I mean, this guy's a dick anyway. I'd rather not even give him the publicity.
That's fair. All right.
Fuck him. But anyway.
Team Malik.
Yeah, mate. I should. Every part of me wishes I'd let. So I told somebody. I told one of the bosses about that years later, and they said to me, it's a shame you didn't just let him go for it." And I was like, "I know," but then the boss did look at me and go, "Also, thank you for not letting him go for it." So like the boss did say, like they had both, they saw both perspectives. But anyway,
one of those workers.
Yeah. So, as agreed last time, you have the floor this time for a Malik story.
I forgot about that.
So, what is this week's Malik mystery? Darcy Stone, over to you.
Right. So, Malik is not afraid of many things. He probably should be, considering he's starting punch-ups with WWE stars.
Most starting punch-ups, but carry on.
But he does have some fears, and one of them is that he's terrified of ghosts. Really, really terrified. In particular, a nightmare that he had where he saw a hand scratching across his window when he was a kid, and if you ever bring it up, he's absolutely terrified about it. Do you think Malik is the sort of guy that would be scared of ghosts? Or do you think he'd start fighting them anyway?
Well, that is the question. to our listeners. Do you think Malik is afraid of ghosts? You let us know what you think. And I will try to remember to actually put a poll up this time so people can let us know. So that way I have some form of statistics to read when we do the results. But yeah, cool. So that was this week's edition of
Malik
Mysteries. Malik Mysteries. Malik Mysteries.
Oh, Malik.
Right, so this past weekend we saw WrestleMania. And it was probably one of the most, well, I mean, it was definitely the most unique WrestleMania ever, like in front of no fans. And obviously, this whole no fans concept has been going on for a few weeks now in pro wrestling. Like, obviously, we had the no fans Monday show for Wrestle Talk, but then there's obviously been AEW have been doing no fan shows. Raw and SmackDown have been doing the same thing. I think NXT as well. But like, it's kind of unprecedented that that's happened. Like, it's a 2-day event for WrestleMania. So, yeah, it was just kind of crazy. And I won't lie, like, I think I think most people, myself included, were all a bit like, oh, like, it just doesn't feel like WrestleMania leading up to it.
Yeah.
But then by the end of, just by the end of show one, to be honest with you, I was just like, fair play to them. Like, they knocked this out of the park. Like, this could have been one of the worst WrestleManias in history. But to be honest, I actually enjoyed this WrestleMania more than I've enjoyed a lot of like the most recent WrestleManias.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of hate online from a lot of people going, oh, I don't know why they bothered having a Mania and I'm not going to bother tuning in. And it's sort of, I was quite saddened by that because if you think about everyone who couldn't go, and yeah, it's not going to be the same, but like all the workers that obviously were not going to get any form of their WrestleMania moment. So I think having a show was better than not having a show. And I tell you what, I think they knocked it out of the park, really,
Yeah,
with just, I was blown away by how creative they were and how un-WWE they were. And I really was like gripped. And after day one, as you said, I was, because we didn't know what to expect. When day two came, I was really excited to see what they were going to do.
yeah, no, same. Yeah, I mean, like from a like, because a lot of people were obviously like harping on about the health and safety side of things, and like they should just postpone it because of we need to keep social distancing a thing, and I do agree with that. So part of me was a bit like, maybe they should have just waited because risking health and everything like that. But at the same time, that's kind of always been Vince and WWE's MO. It's like literally like the show will always go on. There was no way that show was not going to happen. There was just no way.
Yeah.
Because everyone was debating for a few weeks, like, oh my god, WrestleMania might be cancelled. And I just remember saying to Malik, I was just like, nah, Vince is not cancelling this show. Like, it's never going to happen. Like, they did a show like a couple of days after 9/11 happened. They did. They've done shows in even like just really horrible circumstances. So they're gonna do this show, and they rolled with the punches. They did it the way they did it, and yeah, like you said, I think it ended up coming off really well. And before we get to like the two matches that I think are like probably gonna the most talked about, I wanted to just sort of think like to your point about there being no crowd and it maybe taking away from certain things and whatever. Like, I think the only point that like made me feel like, it's a shame there wasn't a crowd there was for Drew when he won the belt.
Yeah, I was really
And
gutted for him.
well, I mean, I wasn't. It was like I was really happy for him because, like, obviously the guy's worked hard for years and like absolutely deserves that, and he's so good as well.
Yeah.
And like the little moment for me was because you could feel like, even though there was no crowd there, for him this was a really real emotional moment, and you could see it in his face, which was what made it really cool. But just a little part of me was like, oh man, like would have been really cool if he'd had that crowd pop as well, because there was that point.
Yeah, blowing the roof off.
Yeah, well, like that point where he looked into the camera though and looked out to the crowd watching at home and said like thank you. That was like real and that was cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, at least at least he won and at least he had the moment. So kudos to him for that. And the whole show for me was just very good. But
I thought the same with Rhea as well.
I think I agree with that.
Because I thought that was a match that it was a great match, but it would have been better with a crowd, and for her as well. It would have been nice for her.
Yeah, I think there were a few matches that were a bit like that, where they were like, it was still a very good match, but it was like, it could have done with a crowd reaction for what they were doing. But then there was a few matches that it was just like, they were so gritty and good that it he didn't even need the crowd. Like for me, the best and most underrated match of the whole night for me personally was Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn.
I loved that match.
It was so good because we were all in a group chat talking about it as this was happening. And I remember a few people were shitting on the beginning of it, saying, "Oh, they're not doing anything." And I was just sat there. I said, like, this is old school. They're doing like Camp Show 101 right here. They're killing 5 minutes with just Sami Zayn being an ultimate chicken shit heel, and then the next like 10 minutes or however long it is that they did was just a fight. And
Ring of Honor style, didn't they?
Yeah, it just evolved from like Camp Show wrestling to like Fight Forever, Ring of Honor, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you wrestling, and it was great.
The way they had that match as well, it was one of the only matches on the card where I just feel like they were so comfortable. Like there could have been a crowd, there could have been two people there. Like they're such pros that didn't matter. Like they were going to give us everything.
Yeah, absolutely. They were. Yeah, Daniel Bryan obviously is one of the best in the world, and Sami Zayn's just an incredibly underrated performer as well. But like I was saying earlier, there was 2 matches from this whole show that just has the world talking, and I think very conflicted, which surprises me. I legit thought everyone would just love both, but apparently, I shouldn't even be shocked.
Win them all.
Yeah, I shouldn't even be shocked because people are dicks. But so the Boneyard match, and the Firefly Flun. I can't even say it, because it's too many F's. The Firefly Funhouse match were both absolutely incredible. And I think my summary of both of them, it was like, for me, it was like WWE goes to the movies. It was like the Boneyard match.
Genius.
Well, the Boneyard match to me was like a cowboy thriller action movie. And then the Firefly Funhouse match, which we're gonna have to.
We're just gonna call it the Funhouse.
The Funhouse match. There we go. Jesus, the Funhouse match was more like a horror, sci-fi, like just like dark comedy.
Psychology, wasn't it? There wasn't a lot of like actual wrestling, and I think that's why people weren't into it. But it was more like the psychological thriller thing.
It was just so good, and to start on the Boneyard match, so I remember just the beginning of it because I didn't realize at first it was going to be the way it was. My thought was when they said Boneyard match, I think like a lot of people, I thought it was going to be a Buried Alive match, just in an empty arena, and then somebody put it in my head that I think it's going to happen on a set at in a cemetery type thing, and I was like, that's a bit odd. And then when the moment it started and AJ just popped out of the coffin, that made me laugh. But then the moment I heard that motorcycle rev, I was done. I was like, here we go. And it was amazing. Like for me, The Undertaker throughout that was just gold. AJ was gold. And like The Undertaker to me is the Clint Eastwood of WWE.
He is. And it was such with both those matches, I think it was a real throwback to anyone who's been watching WWE for a long time, and you get that sort of nostalgic pull. I wonder what people who had never, like, if that was their first introduction to Mania or WWE, I wonder how they received it, because to me I was just thinking like, oh my god, like this feels familiar but not familiar. It feels like it's from the past, but it's completely new, if that makes sense at all.
For me, I literally the only word I can use to describe the Boneyard match was just cool. Just so cool. Like And here's the thing as well, like the trash talking, it felt real because like they were trash talking each other the whole way through it. Like AJ was giving him shit, Taker would then started like back at him, and it felt real because it kind of was real. But then you compare that trash talk, and again, I don't want to like shit on anybody, but the the way Seth Rollins was trash talking Kevin Owens, like it it just the way he like and don't get me wrong, I loved that match as well. Like I thought like especially once they got to the no DQ part, like, I thought it really picked up
Mm-hmm.
and it was done really well. But I don't know, it was just the way he was trash talking felt very cartoonish and like that's not how people like when people chat shit when they're having a fight, that's not how they talk to each other. Whereas the Boneyard match, although in modern day society, if you got into a fight, that probably wouldn't be what you said either.
No.
But it felt realistic because anyone who would have watched that, I guarantee you, most people in the world have probably at some point in their life seen a cowboy movie, and that's what that felt like. It felt like listening to two cowboys giving each other shit as they were like getting ready to have the showdown.
Yeah, and I love the like little Matrix style bit where all the druids come out, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's on. You're just watching it. I was like on the edge of my seat, just going, yes, come on.
Like the druids part was amazing, but like you know what did it for me as well? It was the musical changes.
Yeah.
It was just so good because it just the sudden change to where it got really fucking dark and slow. It was like, oh man, that was cool. Like for me now, all pro wrestling matches should always come with a soundtrack.
Well, it was weird actually because I was about a couple of minutes in when I realised, I thought, oh my god, they're keeping the music.
Mm.
The music is part of this performance. And you're right, like I think a lot more matches should have themes to tell the story.
Yeah, I think they did a hell of a job with that. The musical choices in that were great, and even in the Funhouse match, it was awesome as well. So the question is that I pose to you: what do
Don't
you
do
think?
it.
What was better, the Boneyard match or the Funhouse match? And
Oh.
okay, I'll tell you what. Let me rephrase that actually, because what's better is obviously subjective. So let's go from the more subjective point of view. Which one did you just personally enjoy a little bit more? I mean, you might not have. You might have literally just enjoyed them the same, but you know.
I enjoyed the Funhouse match more. And the reason I did was because I think after seeing the Boneyard match, I was already thinking of things that they would be doing, Cena and Wyatt. And it sort of set the foundation for what they could do. But it's just all the nostalgia and the throwbacks and just how it wasn't a wrestling match, but it definitely was a wrestling match. And it was so unique. Like I love the Boneyard match. That was brilliant. But that was a fight, whereas the Funhouse match was a different kind of fight. And I've seen a lot of negative reviews of that match, but I think that was the highlight of the whole WrestleMania. Was that one?
Yeah. See, for me, I think the Funhouse match was definitely the better one, just because you could tell it was a lot. Not to take anything away from the Boneyard match, because for me, the Boneyard match is the one I personally just enjoyed more. But in terms of like from an unbiased point of view, I can look at both of them and say the Funhouse match was actually better because it was just so much more like create unpredictability and creativity in it. Whereas the Boneyard match was just so fucking cool. And like I personally enjoyed the Boneyard match even like more than the Funhouse match because it was just I liked it just because obviously it was cool and Taker and AJ were just battering each other. It was awesome. And I like that kind of a movie setting to the version they did there. I'm not a massive horror guy, but watching the Funhouse match, I can see that like there was a lot more psychology and a lot more creativity, and like it was just crazy. Like you couldn't like with the Boneyard match, certain things like you could kind of predict when you were watching it. Oh my god, I think he's going to do this. Oh my god, they're going to do that. Oh my god, he's going to choke slam him off of this or whatever. So you could kind of see things coming a bit. With the Funhouse match, you literally had no idea what was coming at any point during. If anybody even dares tell me, "Oh, I saw that coming," then they're full of shit. You could not predict a single thing from that match.
I liked how the Funhouse match sort of made the last sort of however many years of Bray's WWE career make sense. Like it was like he had this plan the whole time, and I love that. I love, you know, when he was sitting there in his rocking chair, and I was like, oh shit, okay, so this was kind of the reason why. And I just like it when matches reference something that happened before and make it all seem worth it.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, I think they did a really, really good job of just piecing it all together and just putting it out there. And again, like we said earlier, this was a WrestleMania that so many people did not have high expectations for, and not only did it like exceed those expectations, but now it's like everyone's going to be expecting stuff like that from now on. Now,
yeah, and I think it would be great if, you know, at pay-per-views there was one match like that, a creative match. I don't know if Vince will do it, but I think after that, they, like you say, they have got sort of something to live up to now.
Well, the future will let us know, I'm sure. At some point, we will find out. I don't know. It's curious because they could potentially do more during lockdown. Maybe they'll wait a year and only do it once a year. I honestly, I don't know, but you know, we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
They know that they've left us wanting more, and that's the main thing.
It's all a bit mad out there at the moment, isn't it? Well, you know what isn't mad? Lucha Pod. Well, it's kind of mad, but that's good. Anyway, if you didn't know already, I'm Freddie Mercurio. I'm the former Lucha Britannia champion that now resides over in Canada. I know, weird, crazy stuff. If you're after a bit more weird, crazy stuff, why not check out some of my work and some of the work of my friends over at Demand Lucha. You can find us really easily, particularly if you type Demand Lucha over in YouTube. Check out some of the free videos. There's a lot of free wrestling to view.
Can we talk about my third favourite moment of WrestleMania?
Absolutely.
And that was my boy Otis.
I don't think I've emotionally recovered. I'm
Same.
Big Brother Otis. I said this the other day in that group chat, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it to anybody who ever asks me what I think of Otis. Brother Otis is goals.
He is. I love him.
He is just goals.
I was made notes about all the matches, about what I thought, and Otis versus Ziggs is just two hearts and a crying face. That was all I could write. I was so emotional.
Oh, mate, yeah, no, Otis. So, would you like to know my notes for that match?
Yeah, go for it.
So, I wrote Dolph versus Otis. Sit on him, Otis. So much belly. Great match. I'm emotionally scarred, but in a good way. Like, I was so happy. Like, I had a slight tear in my eye when that lovely young Mandy Rose came out and gave Big Brother Otis what he rightfully deserved, a big old wet sloppy kiss.
We all needed that. That was iconic WrestleMania moment.
It was. And speaking, I mean, I don't want to hark on the negatives too much, but I have other notes for someone else, and it's literally the same thing every time this human being popped up on my screen.
I know exactly who you're gonna talk about. Come on.
So, I don't know what a Gronk is, but whatever it is, I don't want any, and I don't think the rest of the world ever wants it again. Please, no more Gronk.
I love how he was standing on the balcony for 2 days, being annoying in his little ski suit, just to jump down and win.
So I have no problem with celebrities coming in, and to be fair, maybe Gronk is a big deal in America, and I just don't.
Is he a celebrity?
From what I understand, he's a former American football. I mean, he might be a current American football player. I honestly don't know. It's something to do with football, and I think he hosts a lot of parties. But
Of course he does.
I just, no, I just go away. Just that was
Oh,
all.
it was.
And you know what? Okay, so I'm going to use this opportunity now as well to start a campaign. I'm hoping to start a campaign. I'm going to try and make this a thing. So please join me, if you will, ladies and gentlemen, in showing some love to somebody who never gets any love. So Gronk spent 2 days on a podium waiting to win the 24/7 title. Did it, and then he fucked off. Then we got the man who should have been the rightful host of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Big deal Titus O'Neil popping up. And it got me thinking, we need justice for Titus. So next year, I want Titus O'Neil to be the host of WrestleMania 37. He deserves it, right? He got shoved into that role at the last minute because Gronk got greedy and won a belt. So, and then there was also that they make fun of him every chance they get. He slid under the ring and they won't. I mean, fair play. That was hilarious, and I wouldn't leave that alone either.
I would never let anyone forget that.
No, of course not. But but at the same time, give the guy a break. Let's give him wrestle. He's not gonna, they're never gonna give him that big push, I don't think, because he's just too nice. So let's give him something better. Let's let him host WrestleMania next year.
I would gladly sign that petition.
Let's do it.
Hashtag
justice. Come on, say it properly now. Hashtag justice for Titus. Hoorah, hoorah, hoorah.
Very important you put that extra bit.
Yeah, I'm not going to embarrass myself and try to do the noise right now. I need to be a little bit inebriated to do that.
What did you think about Orton and Edge?
So
that was quite a big match as well. Wasn't it?
So it wasn't so I knew that match was quite long because obviously watching it felt like a long match. But I didn't realize till afterwards it was actually about 40 minutes.
Blimey, was it?
From what I understand, outside of the Bret and Shawn Iron Man match, which I think is the only Iron match in WrestleMania history, I could be wrong. But outside of Bret and Shawn, that is the longest WrestleMania match in history.
Blimey. And see, that wouldn't have worked in front of a crowd either.
No, see, I disagree. I actually think that match, so I actually enjoyed it. I feel like I enjoyed it for the wrong reasons because I was kind of getting laughs out of all of the silly shit they were doing.
Yeah, the backstage Brazzers match.
Yeah, I mean, that you said it, not me. But I don't know. For me, I think they did a good job because they were trying to make it feel gritty and like a real fight, which they did a pretty good job of. Because they just literally brawled everywhere. But I think they could have cut some time off of it. But that's just my own opinion. I think that match. I think given all of the crazy shit they were doing, that match would have 100% benefited from a crowd because a crowd would have been hot to have Edge because it's Edge's first match back, and everyone would have been losing their shit. Oh my god, we're finally going to get to see Edge wrestle, and so I don't know. For me, it was a bit long, but overall I enjoyed it, and I'm just really happy to see Edge back wrestling again. And you could see that
really like the finish.
Yeah, the finish was very good.
I'll tell you what
the main thing I picked up from that match was, so all this money that the WWE make, right, through the Saudi deals, through Fox, through TV sponsors, all of this stupid money, right? Brother Vince needs to put his hand in his pocket and buy some new office chairs for the because I was watching them fighting, and they got some flimsy ass office chairs,
Yeah, there's no lumbar support there, is there?
No, man. Put your hand in your pocket, you tight old bitch. Fair play. You got to keep costs down and that, but come on now. Get a comfy office chair for your people. That's some IKEA bullshit right there. That ain't even the good side of IKEA. That's the cheap section of IKEA.
Yeah, that is a bit stingy.
That's the section of IKEA that you or me go to. Come on now, bro.
Yeah, sort it out, Vince.
You could buy some I ain't saying you've got to buy lazy boys for everybody, but some comfortable seating would be nice. And also there was a hole in the roof of the PC, which I noticed.
Was there? I didn't see that.
Yeah. Well, there was that. So you can't see the hole because they've had it covered up now. So when okay, so let me just preface this. This is the kind of stupid shit that I was picking up on during WrestleMania. Everybody else is like, "Oh my god, what a great match! What great psychology." Costa's like, "Well, the decor's a bit." So
I know
yeah,
people were mentioning the fan and just like
well,
wrestlers going, "Oh God, I wish we had a fan when we were wrestling."
well, the fan popped me because it reminded me of WAW Academy shows because they have a fan right above the ring there because it's in a small little building, and you can't move the fan. They try to keep the ring away from the fan as much as they can, but there's like two sides of the ring. If you climb on that top rope, your head is hitting that fan.
God, if you turn it on, that'd be an interesting match.
Oh, it's been on. It's
And a
been on during
decapitation
match
match.
before. It's amazing. But yeah, no. During Orton and Edge, when they were on top of the truck, when Edge went for the concerto, I noticed the roof. It's all white, but then there was one brown wooden patch on the roof, which has clearly been filled in because there must have been like a leak or something. And I was like, see, that's what happens when you buy cheap roofers. You got to fork out for this shit. Stop cutting costs, mate. Oh dear, but yeah, overall WrestleMania, I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was I mean, again, I don't want to go on too much about all of the matches and details and things like that, but like just a couple of like little funny notes, I suppose, that I've got. So the noises make me laugh, right? Because it's an empty building. Like I never noticed. I mean, I know she was always quite noisy anyway, but I never noticed until this just how amazing Asuka's noises are.
She's fantastic, isn't she?
That was just amazing. Also, I was very happy to see JBL back. More JBL, please.
Yeah.
And yeah, so on the topic of shouting, like Asuka was great. The one that popped me more than anything, and this is the only note I have for Braun Strowman versus Goldberg, and the note I have is big shouty men. Because it was just that part where like they got face to face and Braun, like they said, Braun Strowman, and then he just screamed as he always does, and then Bill Goldberg, and then he screamed right back at him. And I was
Yeah,
like,
they were trying to pop each other for sure.
just do that. Just do this for 3 minutes, and then hit a spear, hit a power slam, go home. That's all I want. And they kind of did it, and I'm glad it was short and sweet. But yeah, it was the big shouty men. That's it. That was great. Oh dear.
Yeah,
But yeah, overall, how would you rate this year's WrestleMania compared to other Manias? Would you put it in the category of one of the worst WrestleManias ever? Would you put it in the category of an average Mania or one of the better Manias? How would you rank it?
it's really difficult because obviously it's completely unique, and it's hard to compare it to other Manias because Mania is about the show, isn't it? And it's everything that comes with it. So if I'm taking it just on, matches, on the quality of the matches, I would put it in the middle somewhere. I think if they didn't have the two concept matches, it would have been a lot lower. So I'd put it probably slap bang in the middle.
Yeah, I think like given the set of circumstances around it, like there's not a lot. They could have either cancelled it or done it the way they did it, and they chose to do it the way they did it. And by doing it that way, at least we got a show, and it help take people's minds off of everything for a little while, which is kind of what the aim was. And yeah, I agree. If the concept matches weren't there, if the Funhouse match and the Boneyard match weren't there, then it probably wouldn't have been nearly as enjoyable. But I think I would put it in like the upper middle area, if that's a thing. Like just or the bottom high end, I guess, however you want to put it. I wouldn't say it was one of the best WrestleManias of all time, but given their circumstances and everything, like yeah, you can't take it away from them.
No, it could have been a complete failure.
And it
wasn't.
And I think everyone owes like thanks and stuff to everyone who took part in that show, and like just an amazing job given horrible place that we are in the world right now. But we're getting there slowly but surely.
Yeah, well, it definitely cheered me up. So
it cheered me up too. And speaking of things that have cheered me up, I have some good news, which I'm sure you're already aware of, but we're going to
tell me again anyway.
Pretend it's breaking news. So there is going to be a wedding.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do know about this, but
Well, I mean, most people should know about it because they put it online now. But so I'd like to send out some congrats to brother Kip Sabian on popping the question to sister Penelope Ford,
I'm
to
so
which she said yes.
yeah.
And do you want to hear a podcast exclusive?
Tell me.
Kosta.K is going to be a groomsman at that wedding.
No.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's some huge responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try and get Kip on the podcast in the future, and I'm gonna save that episode to explain how it is that I have become a groomsman, because it was that I don't want to give it away now, but it happened in a really funny way. But yeah, I'll tell you later. But but yeah, so I'm very happy for them, and that wedding is going to be
congratulations,
great.
guys.
The stag party is going to be
Blimey.
amazing.
Do you know what you're doing for it?
No, we don't know yet. I mean, literally only proposed like 2 days ago.
See, that's most girls have had their wedding planned since they were like kids, so I'm just
I mean, no,
assumed it was the other way.
I'm sure the two of them have plans, but like I'm not that deep into it yet. I've only just been brought in to be a groomsman.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so there you go. But it's very happy for him, very happy for her, and cannot wait for this wedding. And now basically I have to go to America next year or whenever it is they get married.
Have you not been to America before?
I haven't. So I was meant to go in May, which actually very nicely brings us on to the topic of Lucha, which we haven't spoken at all about on Lucha Pod.
Probably should.
Yeah, so I was meant to go in May for the Lucha International show, which hasn't officially been cancelled yet. I have a feeling it probably will be. But even if it's not, I'm still not sure if I'll be able to go, because obviously the flights and everything.
Yeah.
Which would be a shame, but at the same time, I'd rather stay here and be healthy if it's going to be a thing with still with health risks and everything. But
yeah, we have no idea how it will be in May.
Yeah, so I can't really predict it at the moment. We're still a month. I'm literally a month away from when I'm meant to be going out there, but I can't see it happening personally. But that's a shame. But yeah, next year I'll be out there. Well, if they get married next year, I'm kind of assuming. But whenever they do get married, that'll be when I definitely go to the United States.
Ooh. You'll have to
anyway,
do podcasts from the US. Document your time.
I will. I will take a recording device known as a telephone, because that's what we record stuff on these days. And
we're very high tech over here at Lucha Pod.
Yeah. No, we're recording. I'm on my laptop right now. I'll have you know. We're on Skype.
We are.
But yeah. So speaking of Lucha, I understand that the Lucha T-shirts are still available.
They are. So the pre-order's finished, and we sent out two. I think we sent 2 batches out of Lucha shirts. So thank you so much for everyone who's bought them. We sent the money over to Greg and Gary last week, and they are very, very grateful to every single person who bought a shirt. I was actually a bit overwhelmed, how grateful they were.
That's awesome.
So thank you so much, everyone. I think we raised like £150 for them. So
that's good. Very good.
Always room for more, and you can still buy the t-shirts. They say keep calm and lucha on, and you can get them from onthegear.co.uk, and they're just £20.
There you go. The Lucha t-shirts still available, so we want to keep the Resgal running for as long as we can. Obviously there's nothing going on in there at the moment, but there's still bills to be paid, and every penny helps. So thank you to everybody who has bought one already, and to everyone who will buy one, because I'm sure more people will, because it's for a great cause.
What else can you get on the gear, Costa?
Oh, she's asking. She's asking the questions. So
I've set you up.
So there is the all new and exclusive Koss Industries The World Is Ours t-shirt, featuring caricatured pictures of yours truly, the Greek Sleaze, the Greco Grappler, the Pod God. Oh, mate, I'm
Pod
stealing
God.
that.
There
The Pod God, the God of Pod, whatever. mate, we're gonna have a new T-shirt soon. Anyway,
Start selling these ones then.
oh, we're gonna sell these. We're gonna have a Lucha Pod cartel gimmick on your thing as well. It's gonna be great. But anyway, so the Kosta Industries T-shirt featuring myself and the heavy shitter himself, Mr. Malik, and they are available at the low cost of. I'm setting you up because I can't remember how much you priced them for.
£20.
£20. There it is.
I did actually print your version and send it to you, and I've put a little surprise. So
hang on. So hold up. Because I thought about this yesterday because I saw your thing about where you printed the T-shirts, and it made me chuckle. I mean, it hasn't come today, so I'm going to assume it's probably going to come in the next day or two. But it did make me chuckle because I thought, imagine if it came today, because then you would be sending me a present on your birthday.
Well, do you know what I bought for your birthday a few years ago?
No.
If you remember.
I can't recall. I've been hitting the head a lot. You're going to have to refresh my memory.
I bought something, and then you asked me what I bought you for your birthday, and I revealed that I'd actually just bought your T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. You bought my T-shirt. Yes.
For your birthday.
Yeah, I do remember that. That makes sense actually, because I remember you did them impression videos on Instagram, and I saw you wearing my T-shirt. I was like, I don't remember giving her one of them.
You don't give away free T-shirts.
I trade. I usually trade them, and to be fair, I have actually given away a few for free.
I do remember you lending me a Kosta Industries one when I was part of Kosta Industries, but I had to give that back after the show.
Yeah, of course. So none of those Kosta shirts I think are in existence anymore because
really.
Yeah. So we each had two. It was me, Kip, Malik, and G, and then I think G probably still has both of his because he's G and he's in hibernation, but Malik I mean, to be fair, me and Malik both held on to ours for quite a while, but then Kip lost one of his at the Resgal the first time he ever wrestled there. Then the other one, I'm pretty certain he just lost in general because he's useless like that. Then one of mine I gave to Callum when he joined Kos, which he then ripped by accident, or he blames his mum. Apparently, it ripped in the wash, which isn't even a thing. Like, I don't understand how that's humanly possible.
He's lost it. Let's be honest.
In my house, we've washed clothes for years, and I don't believe my mum's ever ripped a T-shirt of mine in the wash, nor have I ripped any of my clothes whenever I've done my own washing. So I don't understand how that's a thing.
Wait, Callum's blaming his mum?
Yeah, he put it on his mum.
See, Joanne, she washed my frontline tops for ages because I kept ruining them and having to ask Will for new ones. So we know that's not true because she is a goddess of cleaning T-shirts. So Callum, you're a big fat liar.
Calling out his mum there, he was. But
I'll defend her with my life.
There you go. Big love to Joe Newman. So we don't have them anymore. So all gone.
Oh, well, you've got your brand new ones now. So
we do, and that's on its way to me, and I cannot wait to wear it. And I'm gonna have to talk to you about putting in a couple of orders for a couple of T-shirts as well for a couple of people who I want to gift them to.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, we'll chat business after.
We will. We'll talk numbers and figures. We'll crunch the digits, cross the O's.
Indeed, carry the 3.
Carry the 3 and dot the gimmick. But so that's pretty much everything that kind of like has been happening this week in terms of wrestling. Like, that was Mania. Wrestle Talk actually did a really cool thing again. They actually put up Indie Mania, where they took shows from all across the independent scene and aired matches on a live stream, which we're a bit late to plug now, but it was cool. The videos are still on the YouTube channel, so you can go and watch them as far as I'm aware. And yeah, really, really good stuff. And hopefully we will be out of lockdown sooner rather than later. What's the first thing that you're planning on doing when this is all over?
I'm going to go to the gym for sure.
Okay.
That sounds really lame, but I'll probably go to the gym. And then I'm going to go and see my family and have a sort of belated birthday thing. And then probably go to the pub. I feel like going to the pub with they're going to be rammed and it's just going to have a really good vibe.
Yeah. So I want to sound really cool and say the first thing I'm going to do when this is over is go and party and go to a club and smash through some booze. And that is the plan. However, realistically, the first thing I'm going to do when this is all over is probably go and visit my nan.
Oh, bless.
Yeah. Got to be done.
I think that's what most people will do, will be going to see their loved ones, because it is tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been tough for a lot of people, but like we keep saying, we're getting through it, and everyone's just got to stay indoors and
wash your hands,
social distance, and yes, wash your hands. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll be back at Lucha soon, and we've got a few more minutes here before we wrap things up. Let's talk a little bit about Lucha as well, real quick. Mm-hmm. So, when we do inevitably come back to Lucha, let's do a little fantasy booking maybe.
Oh.
What matches do you want to see happen at the next Triple L show, as and when it's back?
I definitely want to see Anarco versus Clementine, because that I was looking forward to that, and that obviously didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd quite like to see the New Blood versus Evan Lee.
Okay.
I think that would be quite good.
So the New Blood have just actually lost their brother though, because he's out in America now, Darian. So
I'm hoping
if it's
a fantasy booking, though, I can bring him back.
True. That is how fantasy works. If the Firefly Funhouse has taught us anything can happen in wrestling.
Well,
now.
Exactly.
There's literally no rules in wrestling anymore.
There's some ideas for you boys if you're listening.
There you go.
Make it happen. Fulfill Darcy Stone's fantasy.
I don't know I don't know what I'd want to see. I'd quite like to see. There's a few matches for like a few different people and for different reasons. Like, I'd like to see the New Blood boys from a purely perspective of I've not put myself over enough yet. I would quite like to see the New Blood wrestle Kosta Industries at some point in the future.
That'd be interesting.
But I'm not wrestling on Triple L at the moment, so I mean, no one is because there's no shows. But even before that, I wasn't. But never know. One day, maybe one day
maybe
when we
pop your head out of retirement.
Yeah, they got to prove their worth first, because I'm awesome. But yeah, no, I'd like to wrestle them, but outside of myself, I think if you weren't injured, you and Clementine would be interesting.
Oh, that will happen at one point.
I hope so. That'd be good. I'd like to see her beat the shit out of you.
Oh, honey, really?
What are you trying to imply?
Well, I don't want to ruin anything, but I think I could take her.
Oh, them's fighting words. Clementine, if you're listening, she's coming for you.
I'm a trash talk the Clem. It's on.
I'm not even going to respond to that. That I can't dignify that with a response.
I've just realised my age. Like, I can't trash talk anymore. Really, I've got no street fight talk.
Yeah, no, you didn't. That was terrible.
Yeah.
And if you trash talk like if you fight when you come back from injury like you trash talk, your Clementine's got an easy day ahead of her.
True. Well, I've got a long time to work on it, so. Yeah.
Well, I think another match that I would like to see is. I'm trying to remember. You know what? It's been so long. I've forgotten who even exists outside of my house anymore.
I know it is. But you know what's good though? When we get back and the Resgar's open and training's back on, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of new people who will have been sitting in isolation, maybe watching online wrestling, and maybe got a buzz.
Hopefully listening to This Is Lucha Pod.
Yeah. So that will be exciting to get some new faces.
Yeah. We'll. I think it will be very busy. I think, to be fair, all wrestling schools and just wrestling shows once this is over, and it's not even just wrestling because it's such a big thing. Like it's a global pandemic. It's like everything. I think is going to be busy when this is over because everyone's going to just want to go everywhere.
Yeah, the first Lucha Monday is going to be something.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. If it wasn't crazy already, it's about to reach a whole new level when we're when we bust out of this joint. That's right, I'm streets.
Sure.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that just about does it for this week. Join us. Join me. Maybe, I don't know if you'll. Well, to be fair, there's no real plan for the next episode yet. But there's going to be one more episode to air next week. Not too sure what it is yet. There's a little surprise brewing, so I don't know spoilers. But then after that one, we will be putting up the Will Ospreay double header. So stay tuned for that, because that is something you don't want to miss, because it's very, very good and very, very drunk and entertaining.
What more could you want?
Yep. And as is tradition on Lucha Pod, we buried Malik for a little bit, which is great.
Hey!
You know, what more can you want from Lucha Pod?
And don't forget to give us your answers for this week's Malik's mystery. Is Malik afraid of ghosts?
I will remember to put the poll up. In
believe
fact, you
it
know
when I
what? I'm
see
going to
it.
go on the Facebooks and I'm going to queue up a gimmick. Whatever that meant.
Good. I'll be watching.
Excellent. Cool. So there it is.
Good.
Episode 4.
Are we on 4? I think we're on 4.
This was episode 4. Yeah, this would have been episode 4. So yeah, join us next week for episode 5. And in the meantime, like we keep saying, stay inside and
Wash your hands.
there you go.